The stock market has been struggling lately, but last month's job numbers that we now have suggest that we may not be heading into a recession, something that a bunch of people are emailing me and sort of taking as a foregone conclusion at this point. We saw just over 150,000 new jobs created in January, and this has dropped the unemployment rate in the United States to 4.9%. This is the lowest rate in about 8 years. Now, the sectors that saw the biggest job gains in January were retail, food and drink establishments, healthcare, manufacturing, and financial activities. And the big weight in the job market has been not job creation, but wages. And we've talked about this before. There's this broader systemic problem at this point, as most new productivity that workers are creating is going disproportionately to the top 1%. We did see a 0.5% increase in wages during January of 2016. Now, a couple of interesting internal demographics when we look at the unemployment rate that I think are interesting. First, let's look at unemployment by race. If you look at unemployment by race, unemployment hitting Asians the least at only 3.7% unemployment, followed by whites at 4.3%. Hispanics at 5.9%, and Black Americans at 8.8%. And not surprisingly, the more education you have, also the less likely you are to be unemployed. Those who have no high school degree have an unemployment rate of 7.4%, whereas those with a high school degree see a lower 5.4 unemployment rate. Some college drops the unemployment rate to 4.2%, and those with a bachelor's degree or higher have a 2.5% unemployment rate. Now, I hate that we have to do this, but yes, we have to do this. We have to address some of the sort of conspiracy theories or right-wing talking points around the unemployment rate. Yes, it is true. If you stop looking for work, you are no longer considered unemployed by our system. That has nothing to do with President Obama. That has been the way that unemployment is measured dating back decades. It includes the unemployment numbers under Ronald Reagan, etc. Now, you will also hear from the right, as you know, Lewis, that 90 million people are currently unemployed. If you look at that 90 million number that the right wants you to believe in order to slam President Obama, that includes retired people who have just retired by choice. It includes high school juniors and seniors who aren't working. If you went to high school full time, were you considered unemployed? Were you part of the unemployment problem when you were just going to class and focusing on that? I don't think so. It includes all college students who are not working. It includes stay-at-home parents who are staying at home by choice. So these talking points will really rot your brain, Lewis. And every time we do a report on jobs numbers, we hear from people, David, there are 90 to 100 million people that are unemployed in this country. If you look at the, quote, real numbers, that is absolutely bogus. We can have a real conversation about how the unemployment rate is measured. That is absolutely legitimate. But to suggest that today those numbers are being cooked by how unemployment is being reported, absolutely bogus. People have got to get off those drugs, Lewis. They are drugs that will rot your brain.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like fear mongering, and I don't really see it being used as kind of a campaign. I don't know, a campaigning tool or anything like that. It's just more about slamming Obama and the current administration than anything.
No doubt about it. And just a very flaccid attempt at criticizing President Obama based on how the Bureau of Labor Statistics has been reporting job data for decades upon decades. So let's leave it there, and we will continue to track the real issues, which are the wage problem, productivity growth going to the top 1%. We have real issues in the job market, upcoming technologically based unemployment, absolutely legitimate issues. 90 million people unemployed, conspiracy theories, not worthy of more time than merely reminding you that you'll hear that stuff and it'll rot your brain. So it reminds me of when that DARE officer came in to school and would say, just say no to drugs. We've criticized the effectiveness of that DARE program. When it comes to these right-wing talking points, you've got to stay off of this stuff because your brain on those right-wing talking points is not a pretty picture.